Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be giving my recap on UFC Fight Night, Gamrot versus Salkilld. And overall, this fight card was great, especially for, a fight night. But hey, let's just jump right into it. Starting off, first fight on the card, we have Gigi Canuto versus Caro Ferro. This fight was a fucking banger. I'm not even going to lie. I was shocked. I'm sitting here watching with my buddy, and these women are just going at it. I don't even know who they were. They were a last-minute addition to the card. They got added a couple days after I uploaded my initial breakdown video for this card, which is why I didn't have predictions up for them. I ended up going with Caro Ferro by decision, and she ended up getting it done by decision. Believe me, don't believe me, that's up to you. I don't have any proof of that out here because I already uploaded my video, and I'm not gonna just go and upload one fight card or one fight off of the fight card that I missed. So I said fuck it, I left that alone. But hey, that fight was a banger. I feel bad for anybody who missed that. These women were just fighting. They're just fighting. Fucking DC fucking level of analysis right there. But hey, anyway, next fight on the card, Juliana Miller versus Ravina Oliveira. This fight was not great, if I'm being honest with you. This was kind of I think this was like probably the stinkiest fight on the card right here, if I'm being completely honest with you. Like, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't very entertaining. I think for me, it comes down to the fact that both of these women are awful. I know they're in the UFC, so they're like decent level fighters, but my God, like, this was just such a fucking awful watch. I don't even have much of a breakdown really or a recap for this fight. I guess Ravina Oliveira is just worse than Juliana Miller, because Juliana Miller, she got it done by round 2 submission. I ended up picking her by decision. I was thinking crafty 29-28, women's MMA decision. But that didn't end up happening. Juliana Miller gets the finish. She gets the submission. And I can't even say that's impressive because Ravina Oliveira is ass. I'm pretty sure she's 0-4 in the UFC now. So not really an impressive win. But what do you do? Moving on to the next fight on the card, Miles Johns versus Gianni Vasquez. This was another last-minute sort of addition to the card. Raul Rosas Jr.'s brother, there we go, he went running away from this matchup. He didn't want anything to do with Miles Johns, and so Gianni Vasquez stepped up on 2 days' notice. And after watching this fight, I understand why. I can't even think of his fucking first name right now. We'll just say Rosa. I know it's Rosa because it's Raul Rosa's older brother or younger brother or whatever. Rosa went running. Gianni came in on a 2 days' notice. And Miles Johns absolutely slumped him. At first, I thought Gianni was actually going to do pretty good in this fight. He knocked down Miles Johns. And if he would have applied some more pressure or got on him, I do think that he could have finished the fight there. But he didn't. And all of a sudden, Miles John gets up and he comes back with a vengeance. And no more than 30 seconds later, boom, absolutely fucking slumps Gianni Vasquez. And he gets the round 1 TKO. Miles Johns gets it done. I picked him by decision, but like I said, he got it done by round 1 TKO. For me, I'm not really too picky. I want to get the fighter predicted. If I don't get the method of victory predicted bang on, it is what it is. But I always like to try, you know what I mean? So right now, 3 for 3 on the card. Going on to the next fight, Manuel Souza versus Richie Miranda. And I got to be honest, I predicted this fight perfectly. Decently competitive. And mainly due to Miranda using his range and keeping Souza back. But when Souza was able to close the distance, he was really effective. And he was scary powerful. I mean, my biggest takeaway from this fight is that Richie Miranda must have a head made of fucking cinder blocks, because he was just eating all of these shots. It was fucking insane. Like, and another, I guess the other takeaway from this fight is the cardio of Manuel Souza is insane. Like, I was seeing a lot online from people, just groups that I'm in, like, oh, well, Manuel Souza should get it done by knockout, but if he doesn't, he's going to gas, and Richie Miranda's going to put it on him. And Manuel Souza, this whole fight, was pushing the pace, tracking down Richie Miranda, trying to get past his couple-inch reach advantage, and I was just really impressed, honestly. He didn't get the finish, and I did predict that he was going to win by decision, and sure enough, Manuel Souza gets it done by unanimous decision. But, I think both these guys are actually great. Like, I was really impressed with what I saw, and I really look forward to seeing what Manuel Souza can do in the lightweight division, because this guy is a scary lightweight. This guy is fucking jacked and has cardio. And I think if he's fighting someone who's not Richie Miranda, I'm pretty confident he's going to be able to put away a lot of people in this division, because the power that this guy seemed to have is fucking insane. But anyway, on to the next fight on the card. It was Louis Sutherland versus Jose Montana. Another fight that I predicted right as well, but the wrong method. This fight, if you can even call it that, lasted not even 2 minutes. It was a bunch of slow scrambling around on the ground. Louis Sutherland trying to be crafty and fat man roll his way out. Jose Montana using his control, using his wrestling skills, and he was able to get the submission in 2 minutes. I thought he was going to get a knockout, if I'm being honest with you. I thought it was going to be a round one knockout. I thought, Louis Sutherland was okay enough to at least keep it on the feet, but he couldn't even do that. And I just don't understand why, A, I don't understand why people were picking Louis Sutherland. B, I could not tell you why the fuck he was a minus 200 favorite, because, and I really hope people understand this now after this fight. Louis Sutherland's just a crafty blob, and he's not even fucking crafty. And his only win in the UFC is against Tai Tuivasa. I mean, the guy's just, he needs to go back to the regional scene, start taking roids again, and go be a monster over there. Go pop over to PFL or some shit, and I'm sure you're going to look 10 times better. But in the UFC, I really don't think he belongs. But hey, either way, Jose Montana gets it done by a round one submission. I picked him by round one KO. Another fight I got right. Pat myself on the back. But hey, next fight on the card, DR Nurgazai versus Bruno Lopez. This was a great fight while it lasted. It only went until the end of the first round. But from the fucking minute that, or from the second, whatever, that the fucking bell sounded, Bruno Lopez had this look on his face like he was fighting Francis fucking Ngannou. Bro was terrified of Nurgazai. The only thing Lopez did that had any sort of effectiveness was eye poke DR Nurgazai. And it's like, it's so weird because Nurgazai seems to have this tick where he's like constantly sort of touching his eye. And then it's like Bruno Lopez came in with the strategy where it's like, I'm going to fucking eye poke this guy. He does an eye poke. He gets away with it. There's no stoppage. Nothing happens. It was kind of minor. Grazed the eye, and then he eye pokes him again in the first round, and then I think it was Herb Dean. He stops it, gives DR Nurgazai some time. DR Nurgazai gets back in there, and he just puts a beating on Bruno Lopez. I mean, this was one-sided. We can't count the eye pokes as anything effective. I'm just sort of joking around, but DR Nurgazai gets a knockout in round one. With 1 second left in the round, 4:59, he gets the knockout. I picked him by round 2 knockout. So goddamn close to getting that. So fucking close. Because if it made it one more goddamn second, DR Nurgazai was absolutely knocking him out in the second round, without a doubt in my mind. Like, there's just no way he wasn't. But great fight while it lasted, like I said. Next fight on the card, Steven Asplund versus Guilherme Pat. This was a really, really fun heavyweight fight. Steven Asplund is the fucking GOAT, man. We all love this guy. I mean, he's just so inspirational. He's willing to go out on his shield, and you've seen it in this fight. He was hurt so bad in the second round by Pat, and he was able to stay in there, tough it out, and get the win anyway. First round was relatively competitive, but I do feel like it was Asplund's round. He was doing more damage. He threw more strikes. I think it was pretty clearly his round. Second round, though, Guerme Pat really turned up the heat. He was stinging Asplund, and I think he even knocked him down at one point in that round, if I remember correctly. And, I was terrified for Steven Asplund. I fucking love the guy, and I have him in my parlays, so I'm like, please, for the love of fucking God, do not get knocked out right now. Steven Asplund, he grits down, he survives, he's got some damage on him, but he ended up being all right. He seems to wear damage pretty easily, because in the last at least 2 fights that I've seen from him, it's that same spot on his cheek under his eye, where his eye just really starts to swell up. And he's been cut there twice now. And so I wonder if that's just going to be a persistent problem. But either way, it doesn't matter. Anyway, second round goes to Guerme Pat. And then round 3, Steven Asplund sort of slows down the pace. We see a lot more clinching from both of these guys. And, it's so strange because Steven Asplund is winning these clinch sequences. He's using knees and elbows. He's doing damage. He's winning these sequences. But Guerme Pat keeps initiating these clinches. And so he kind of, lost himself that round, possibly. Where if he just didn't clinch with him, it's not guaranteed. But Guerme Pat was having a lot of success in round 2 just using his boxing. I mean, I'm so glad he did decide to make that choice because I wanted Steven Asplund to win. But, I don't know, just the IQ of that. I'm sure Guerme Pat, when he looks back at this fight, he's going to deeply regret, how it went. But either way, doesn't really matter. Steven Asplund gets it done by decision. I picked him by round 2 knockout. I even had a straight leg I put together that was plus 550 for him to get a knockout over 1.5. And he almost did it too. It was so close to happening. He knocked him down with 2 minutes into the round. And I needed to be at 2:30. 2 minutes into the round. Round 2. Steven Asplund gets a knockdown. And then he lets him back up. He doesn't follow up. He backs up, lets him up, and I respect it. But then he ended up losing that round. And if he would have lost that fight, that would have been the most frustrating thing ever because he had a chance to finish the fight right there. My fucking parlay aside. Obviously, that doesn't matter. He ended up winning the fight. It is what it is. But I just didn't really like that play. I didn't think it was a very high IQ moment. But hey, anyway, next fight on the card, Ty Miller versus Billy Ray Goff. This was an absolute beating from Ty Miller. He landed over 160 strikes total compared to Billy Ray Goff landing not even 40 strikes, I don't think, on him. I mean, Ty Miller just won this fight everywhere. He completely dominated him. And realistically, this should have been stopped on the stool at the end of round 2 and been a round 2 knockout / TKO. Because you could see it, 10 more seconds left in that round, probably not even, and he would have gotten the finish. And then you can just see it, this guy is ready to give up. His corner and coaches send him back out there into the 3rd round. And I mean, I get it, you want your fighter to go out there and push through it, but there's no, pride in that. You're not getting anything from that. 15 seconds later into round 3, and Billy Ray Goff gets knocked out. And so it's okay, was he really fit to go back out there? It's not like it was a lucky shot that ended up taking him down in round 3. It was he just went out there and Ty Miller did the same shit he's been doing, and he just put him away within the first sequence. This fight wasn't even competitive. And I mean, I'm the kind of guy where it's when it's a not competitive striking fight, I do quite enjoy it. I love a competitive fight, but I also love a non-competitive just beating. Maybe I'm sadistic, I don't know. But this was just really entertaining. Like I said, I feel like it should have been stopped in round 2. on the stool, that is. And maybe I'm biased because I picked him by round 2 knockout, but Ty Miller gets it done. Round 3 knockout. Great fight. Really great fight, if you can call it a fight, because it really was a beating. Anyway, Amanda Lemos versus Alexa Thainara. Alexa Thainara gets it done by decision, exactly as I thought. I knew this chick was going to pull through. And I know she was like a minus 250, so that's not really saying much. But still, I told you guys to lock her in. Honestly, though, this fight was a lot more competitive than I thought. I really thought that Alexa Thainara was going to use her wrestling more. And she did use control in this fight. I think she had like 7 minutes of control time. I'll have it up on screen. But she used her striking a lot more compared to normally in her fights. Like, she does use her striking in her fights, but she's primarily a wrestler. And then in this fight, she almost throws 200 strikes. In this fight, though, Amanda Lemos, she had her moments. It was a competitive fight. Amanda Lemos won round 2. I mean, she won round 2 according to 2 judges. One of the judges had it 30-27 for Alexa Thainara. And don't get me wrong, I'm biased. I want Alexa Thainara to win. But she didn't win all 3 rounds. Alexa Thainara won rounds 1 and round 3 using her control time, using her amount of strikes, just the sheer volume. She had a knockdown in round 1 and didn't really follow up too much, wasn't able to get the finish. In round 2, that was 100% Amanda Lemos. She was able to pour the pressure on her. She actually got a knockdown. She almost fluked Alexa Thainara. If Amanda Lemos would have fluked Alexa Thainara, I would have been pissed. I would have been so fucking mad because she was my lock of the card, and I even said in my breakdown the only way that she would get the win is if she fluked her, and it almost fucking happened. But hey, it didn't. Almost doesn't count. We take those. Alexa Thainara gets it done by decision, and I picked her by decision, so let's fucking go. Next fight, if you can call it that, Darren Elkins versus Yadier Delval. There is nothing really to recap here at all. This fight was over in 30 seconds. Poor Unc Elkins got slimed out by the wrestler in Delval in his retirement fight. And that really sucks, too, because Darren Elkins is such an OG. He's been an entertaining fighter. He's been in there in some absolute scraps. I mean, he's even fought Alexander Volkanovski back in the day. But the problem is, or I guess was, because it's past tense now, he's retired, he was just too old. He should have retired after his last 2 or 3 fights, and no one would have been complaining. And it's kind of fucked up because they've been giving him these Unc matchups, and then for his retirement fight, they give him a young up-and-coming guy that absolutely fucking slimes him out. Like, that's just not fair. It's just so fucked up. But anyway, as we predicted, Yadier Delval gets it done by round 1 knockout, and I picked him by round 1 knockout. No surprise, he was minus 800. But anyway, the co-main event of the card, Diego Ferreira versus Billy Quarantillo. Okay, this fight pissed me off. Like, what in the fuck was Billy Q doing for over half this fight? Ferreira basically had his way with him for the entire fight. And then in round 3, Quarantillo really decided to lock in and start fighting. And by that time, it was too late. He couldn't get a finish, and he obviously couldn't win on the scorecards. He didn't even win that round, for fuck's sakes, when he actually started to turn it up. And it was just super annoying. Like, you would figure that being a younger fighter going up against an older guy, you just came down from a lower weight class, you bulked up, you've been off for a year and a half, so a year and a half to recover, bulk up, you have lighter man skill, should have better durability, better cardio, more power, you should have the advantage everywhere. And yet, you fucking did nothing. Like, apparently it doesn't matter. I should have, I guess, taken into account that he had that long of a layoff. Like, that, obviously came into effect here, I would have to assume. And Billy Quarantillo isn't young himself, but I figured that that bit of youth advantage that he had and the time off was going to make a big difference. And Diego Ferreira gets it done by decision. I picked Billy Quarantillo to win by decision. Fuck you, Billy Quarantillo. You ruined my perfect streak on this card, and you fucked mine and my buddy's parlays over a bit. We still made some money, but that's not the point. So you owe me. You owe us. We need a percentage of that fight purse because you costed us money. You fought like a fucking retard. Do better next time. Anyway, enough rambling. Finally, the main event, Quillen Salkilld versus Mateusz Gamrot. Let's fucking go, man. My GOAT gets the round 1 submission. Quillen Salkilld is that fucking guy. I mean, this motherfucker just had a better performance than Charles goddamn Oliveira against Gamrot. And I was so happy watching this fight. Immediately, Quillen just looks giant in there compared to Gamrot. I mean, he's like a welterweight fighting at lightweight. And I know everybody weight cuts and everyone's a little bigger than what their actual weight class is, but Quillen in there just looked giant. And he had the advantage everywhere, really, in this fight. Immediately, you can tell he had the striking advantage, and that's no surprise. We figured that was going to be the case. Quillen Salkilld gets a knockdown right away in the fight. That causes Gamrot to shoot, and then Quillen stuffs that shit immediately. They scramble on the ground, going a bit back and forth. Gamrot actually gets a leg lock in this, entanglement that they're having. And I'd be a little stressed out, but I don't think it was that bad. That or Quillen Salkilld is just unbelievably flexible because, he wasn't bothered by it at all. This guy was straight-faced, calm, sitting there, just rolling with whatever. He's able to survive this leg lock. He gets out of it. It's no problem. They scramble around again on the ground. Quillen gets the back. He sinks in the choke, and he gets the round 1 submission. The CEO of sex, the minority killer, Quillen fucking Salkilld, defeats Mateusz Gamrot by round 1 submission, and I picked him by round 2 KO. Overall, fantastic card for a fight night. I'm hoping fight nights from here onwards have this same energy because this was the first event in the new Meta Apex arena, and that actually had, they added a crowd, and it also just looks sick. The atmosphere is just dope in here. In the Apex. I say in here like I'm there. I was fucking not there at all. But no, I really think that the energy from the crowd brought out the best of the fighters and entail sort of led to a lot better performances in these fights. But anyway, we went 11 for 12 on this fight card. The only fight we got wrong was Billy Quarantillo. Fuck you, Billy Quarantillo. Your ass is you're on the ban list. You're on my no bet list from here onwards. Had a nice little 8-leg parlay that hit, which was nice. So, could have been a lot more if Billy Q fucking pulled through. But, hey, what do? Can't get them all. You live and learn. We recoup next week. And I'm hoping that next week, UFC 330, Ian Gary versus Islam Makhachev, we're going to fucking crush that card. I can't wait. Couple days time, I'm going to get a breakdown video out for you guys. We're going to go over everything, all the fights on the card. That card for a pay-per-view is not great, but it is what it is. The main event should be good. Islam Makhachev is going to slime out Ian Gary, the cuck himself, and I can't fucking wait. But hey, anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.